Now we go to Hollywood, where the latest up-and-coming actress, Tilly Norwood, is causing a bit of a stir amongst her potential future co-stars because she's not real. Norwood is a fully AI-generated actress who has appeared in her first short film, AI Commissioner. Have a look.
Can she cry on Graham Norton?
Of course she can, and it'll be clipped, subtitled and monetised on TikTok by lunchtime.
We're all going to hell.
Got recommissioned, didn't it?
3 seasons and a podcast.
They are all AI. Can you believe it? The Actors Union has condemned the creation. Big names are coming out and speaking out. Actress Emily Blunt has called the creation terrifying, and after seeing Tilly said, "What's an AI? Good Lord, we're screwed." I think they as actors are screwed, but I was thinking about this morning. If you've been to the movies lately, there's a lot of younger actors that I have simply never encountered before. I couldn't tell them from Adam. Would you really know or care if they were AI or not? Click us an email, ryan@nzherald.co.nz, 18 after 7 now. Staying in the US, the government's heading into a shutdown, and in fact it's in one, after reaching an impasse in the Senate. The Republicans needed Democrat votes to pass their spending bill. The Democrats have said, nah, this is over cuts to healthcare, so the federal government's closed. Tim Hagle is political scientist, Professor, University of Iowa, and joins us now. Tim, welcome to the program. Welcome to New Zealand.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Tell me, how long do you think this one's going to last?
Well, it's always hard to say. It depends on how quickly the Democrats and Republicans are willing to come together. And it looks like the Republicans are digging their heels in, so the Democrats maybe are going to be the ones that are going to relinquish their position. I would say at least a week, just given that the U.S. House isn't in session right now and we're coming up to a weekend. But I wouldn't think that it's going to last more than a couple of weeks.
Professor, why do they need, because the Republicans obviously have a majority in the Senate, why do they need 60 votes in order to pass this?
Well, in the Senate, legislation requires 60 votes. And basically the idea behind it is called cloture, C-L-O-T-U-R-E. It's to end debate on a particular piece of legislation. And the idea is to have bipartisan support for whatever it is that gets passed. And in the past, they had this requirement for other things like nominations to the U.S. Supreme Court and so forth, but they got rid of it there. And again, we're at a point where we talk about whether they want to get rid of that 60 votes. But again, right now, it's still a matter of wanting to have that bipartisan support so that it's not just a matter of, well, every time the power control of Congress changes, that you're going to have massive changes in policy. You still have to have that multi-party support.
Tim, do you think the Democrats or the Republicans are winning the PR war at this point?
You know, that's always a good question, and that's often where the big fight occurs rather than necessarily over the actual policy concerns. In the past, Democrats have usually won the PR campaign, but this time I think that Republicans feel that they're in a better position, partly because of alternative media sources, that they're able to get their message out. Plus, I think that Democrats are the issues that they're trying to support here in terms of increased spending, even in the short term, are not really winning issues. And so I think Republicans feel that they really are in a better position this time and maybe are going to win that PR war.
Professor, is there in terms of Trump's threats to permanently get rid of federal workers, is there a real risk that could happen here, that they get furloughed and then Trump just cuts them off altogether?
Yeah, certainly one of the things that Republicans often want to try to do is reduce the size of the federal government. And that's been true for 40 years or more since Reagan was in office. And this, of course, Trump had the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, and he wanted to do a lot there, wasn't able to do as much as he wanted to. And so when we're in a position now where we're saying, well, look, these are non-essential government workers, and so those are the ones that get furloughed in the shutdown. Well, if they're non-essential now, maybe they're non-essential permanently. And so it gives Trump that opportunity to take a closer look at some of these agencies and say, how about if you reduce the size of your workforce?
Appreciate your time. Just before you go, why is it that we get to these crunch points? This is not the first one. There was one, I think, 32 days in Trump's first term. This will by no means be the last one. Why is it that you get to these crunch points? Because we don't have them here.
Yeah, it's based on the idea that, of course, you have to have legislation that's passed in Congress. Both parties are fighting, and when control is nearly evenly split, as it is right now in both the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate, that you can't get that kind of agreement. We're in a period right now where you have intense partisan conflict of between the two parties, and in particular because the Democrats just really do not want to give Trump a win of any sort. And so there's more resistance to these kinds of things. Republicans are in control. They cut a lot of spending. Democrats don't like that. They want more spending. And so they're just sort of at this impasse right now, and temporarily, until the pressure is really put on when you have a shutdown of some sort. And then again, that's when the political pressure gets put on, trying to appeal to the voters and make them pay, make the one party or the other pay for it at the next election.